Hi guys and welcome to another iiWi review. Now what we have here today is a fairly affordable set of earphones coming from a brand called Kbear. I hope it's pronounced that. You can see it here, and the model is KS2. Now this is my first time to actually try and even hear about this brand. But let's focus more at model at hand. Now, as I mentioned, these are affordable. They're around 30 bucks. And the build is really decent. They're made completely out of plastic. Well, I think maybe this tube is metal. I'm not sure, but the earphones themselves are plastic. Fortunately, they feel really nice. And they also fit really nice in my ears because it's not some sort of chunky design or something really heavy. They're lightweight, they're fairly slim, and they fit really nice in my ears. I appreciate that quite a lot. Cable itself is braided, and you can see already that it's basically very tangly. It's definitely the tangliest cable, I don't know if that word even exists, that I ever tried. It reminds me on KZ cables, for example, or T-Audio T2. These tangles like crazy. And you can see just how it curves and it waits for you to put it in your pocket to make a mess. Ear hook is pre-shaped and it's quite weird. As you can see, it's too tight. Like, what is this? It should be at least like this. But fortunately, it's not too springy, so yeah, it doesn't really make a mess when you once you put it on your ear, but it makes things a little bit difficult, for example, to do it with one of your hands. Okay, so fortunately the cable is exchangeable, so you can just buy something better, okay? And so build decent, fit decent, comfort great, for my ears at least. Cable rubbish. On a positive note, it's not microphonic because it's really soft and curly, and these kind of cables are just, they're never microphonic. Okay, so to the most important thing, and that's sound quality. How do these actually sound? Well, for the money, I have to say they really sound great. What the great means. First of all, they do have strong bass response. So I think even bass heads should be happy with these. But funny enough, even if I'm not a bass head, I quite like this bass line because it is emphasized, but not too much. It's not overblown, it's not dominating the entire sound signature. It's just there. It's a little bit juiced up, powered up, and it's giving everything like a nice warm bass, you know. And sometimes I like that type of signature, especially when I go outside and, you know, you're in a public transport or something like that, and bass line is the first to disappear in that rumbling noise of transport, streets and everything like that. So to be honest, when I go outside, I like a little bit of bass oomph, and these provide just that. It's fairly well controlled. I'm happy to say that. There's texture. It's not just drowned in muddy bass. Going upwards, you feel that these are definitely V-shaped. The lower mid-range, you just lack body in notes, body in vocals, and then we have like emphasis on higher mid-range and high frequencies. And unfortunately, that emphasis in higher region produces sibilance. And that's something I really don't want to hear in earphones. It's basically when you hear a singer doing something like sh, and it's like snaky. These do that. I really don't like that, but fortunately, they react nice to EQ. So in my case, I just lowered few decibels, maybe like 3 decibels at 8 and 8 to 12 kilohertz, like 8, 10, 12. It's depending on your player EQ, what you have available. But for me, taming that region from 8 to 12 approximately brought down that peak just enough so hissing basically disappeared, and even if it didn't disappear completely, it was brought down to normal levels that I could live with. And like that, I actually started liking the sound of these. Okay, talking about something else but frequency response, I have to praise these have quite decent width of soundstage and really nice separation of instruments and everything. You feel like there's space between them and they can breathe. That's quite nice. And also there's quite decent energy to them. They are exciting, energetic sounding. Nothing ever sounds toned down or muffled or muddied. For example, these days I use Senfer DT6 earphones that I really like. Their type of fuller sounding mid-bass is more pronounced and everything. But after listening to these for some time and going back to Senfer, I feel like they're muddy a little bit because these are cleaner, they separate things better, and except that hissing problem, I really liked them. So it depends basically on you. And to answer to the question, would I recommend them to my friend or to you or to anybody basically, I first have to say, do you mind EQing them? Because if you're a type of purist, I know there are guys who say, no, man, I don't want to EQ anything. It's just adding a layer of software and I don't want to do that. Then I wouldn't recommend these because that hissing problem, that peak in higher mid-range, lower highs is just too hot for my taste. I couldn't listen to these like that. No way, man. But if you are not against EQ, and I can say I don't hear any negative effects of EQing them, they react to it really nicely, then you can tame that part that it's problematic. And then for 30 bucks, you have like a really decently built, quite nice sounding earphones that for my taste might even be better than let's say Senfer DT6 or T-Audio T2, because T2s are too lean, their bass is a little bit too lean. Senfer can sound a little bit muddy at times, and these are just nice balance of really powerful, fun type of bass line that still has enough details and enough texture to it, and really nice energetic rest of the spectrum. There's nice layering, there's nice transients and edges, everything sounds crisp and clear. Soundstage is well developed, just you have to be okay with that slight V-shaped presentation because lower mid-range is not that full, is not that rich, and you have to tame that upper part a little bit. If you're okay with that, I can easily recommend them. And for the price, I really think these have much more qualities and things going for them than things going against them. So I guess they're worth trying at least, if you're a fan of the type of sound I just explained. And that would be all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hoped you liked this review. If you did, please click like and subscribe. Also share this video with your friends so you can help this channel grow and bring even more interesting reviews like this one.